Hey guys, how's it going? Professor Shuckle here, your coach of the Dark Cave Dark Rise. Today I'm back with our semi-final battle for the Hive Kakuna Division Season 8. Our opponents for the week are the Michigan Manactrix and Coach Cheez-Its. Now Cheez-Its had a fantastic season. He finished with 8-2, the same record as us, but he finished with one differential point higher than us, so actually claimed the first seed in our division. I was second, one differential behind him with the same record. So, yeah, so obviously he had a fantastic season. He has a fantastic team. So, yeah, we have our work cut out for us. Also, yeah, sorry for no uploads for like Hive because after week 10, we basically had, because I finished second seed, like Hive playoffs work a little differently. It's not the traditional first versus 8th seed, second versus 7th, third versus 6th, and so on. So here, the first two seed face off in basically what is the semifinal, and the winner goes on to play the final. And seeds 3 to 8 have a mini tournament between them, and the winner of that faces the winner of our battle in the final. So, and because of that, we had more time to play this battle, so we decided to do it in the week it was actually due. So that's why there has been no Hive upload. But yeah, so this is like one of our few remaining games before Draft Premier League starts. And like I'm looking to get drafted in that. So yeah, hopefully we can win in like a high pressure game versus a really good player and like, you know, prove my credentials and stuff. So yeah, that's what we're going for. So without much further ado, let's jump into the matchup. Our opponent has a roster of Tornado Therian, Crocodile, Klefki, Lycanroc Dust, Tapu Fini, Vikavolt, Licky, Mega Medicham, Musharna, Tangela, and Regice. And our roster obviously consists of Mega Glade, Clefable, Kyurem, Cinderace, Obstagoon, Blastoise, Rhyperior, Weezing, Rotom Fan, Registeel, and Leafeon. I'll be going into a little more depth in this matchup analysis just because like it's a playoff game, so obviously you know, more like higher stakes. So yeah, I'll explain my thought process to the best of my ability. So yeah, hopefully you guys enjoy and can learn. So yeah, starting off, Tornado Therian is a huge threat this matchup. Nasty Plot, Hurricane, Focus Blast, and Sludge Wave kind of go through my, or Heat Wave even, I guess, kind of go through my team. Taunt, Knockoff, Hurricane, Sludge also goes through my team, Sludge or Heat Wave. Nasty Plot, 2 attacks, U-Turn, Taunt. Torn has a lot of options here. Obviously, it's super hard for me to wrench because of its speed tier, and obviously it can just hop back out a couple of times and regen back to full. And obviously with boots, he's not going to take any damage from rocks. So yeah, Torn will always be able to come and revenge Glade, Cinderace, Leafeon, Obstagoon maybe. So yeah, Torn, huge threat, definitely coming. Torn's one of the best Pokemon in the format, definitely coming. Our only response to Hurricane actually is because like it gets grass now for a period too, and Focus Blast does a chunk. Our only response to it is Spadef Kyurem and Boots Spadef Rotom Fan, but like he can just U-turn or switch out, and yeah, like obviously Spadef Reggie could help a little if it's not Heat Wave and Plot, but Registeel's matchup is really bad, as you'll see. Crook, pretty solid. Could be Scarf. I'm pretty sure Intimidate is like the best ability here, but it could be Moxie to try and sweep, but like I doubt it. But I mean, like Scarf still could be really good if he gets rid of like Weezing, Rotom, Rhyperior, maybe even Blastoise. So that's right. I don't think Crook can sweep, but Crook will definitely get up rocks this game for sure. You can have Taunt to stop, stop Weezing, Leafeon, Clef maybe. Another thing I thought could be possible is counter with like a lure, like Chople or something. So to catch Glade, obviously. But I think Crook will probably come as Chople, Intimidate, and Rocks. and will definitely get up rocks this game for sure. So yeah, Crook's pretty solid here. Not the best switch into Cinderace, I think, because Bandit to hit KOs it even after Intimidate, but it can definitely switch into like Registeel. If it has Taunt, can maybe help with Rotom Fan. Yeah, Crook doesn't Crook doesn't switch into things directly, I would say, but if it comes in on a free switch, it can obviously threaten out because of the threat of Scarf, and then obviously get up rocks pretty easily. Also, it can be a pretty solid lead because like I have to scout for Scarf, or he could be like Sash counter, could be Chople counter, stuff like that. I think Crook definitely comes. It also gives him a free sack into some of his more broken mons. Klefki can always be annoying with T-Wave spam and like screens, but again, I don't think screens comes just because I have a Cinderace, so I can code change his screens. So just the presence of Cinderace should deter that for sure, in my opinion. Also, Thunder Wave doesn't synergize that well with Feeny, so I'm not sure if Klefki comes. He could try some weird setup Klefki with stored power, but not sure. It could come because definitely can kind of check Obstagoon because resists both of Obstagoon's stabs, and it does a Draining Kiss, so it can try to keep it healthy that way. But yeah, I could see it coming, could not see it coming. It could definitely be spike stacking as well, but again, the problem with that is if Cinderace core changes, then that's the real issue when you face Cinderace. So I don't know, like 50-50 if Klefki comes. Lycanroc Dust is probably the biggest threat to my team and is 100% coming with Life Orb, Excel Rock, Play Rough, Close Combat, and the last slot is filler. It could be Stone Edge, it could be Iron Head, it could be Sword Stance, I guess. Yeah, this thing, I have no switch-ins on my team without like a lure, like a Resist Berry. It just hits too hard, and Tough Claw's boosted like almost all its moves, and the coverage it got like this generation, like Play Rough, Close Combat, Psychic Fangs, is just too good. Maybe it could come with Klefki if this has Psychic Fangs, because then even if I core change, it can break the screens. But yeah, Lycanroc is 100% coming. This game might come down to a speed tie between Glade and Lycanroc Dusk, so like that'll be a 50-50. But yeah, Lycanroc Dusk 100% coming. Tapu Fini. So first of all, coming Tapu Fini 6-0s my entire roster. Like physically defensive, Combine, Draining Kiss, Tapu Fini, just 6-0s my roster. I can't do anything about it. I do have Unaware Clef, but it's not like I'm beating it back, especially if Tapu Fini is taunt. But that being said, he doesn't have a Cinderace switch-in on his team. If I'm Choice Banded, Powerball kills, Powerball to it KOs, Powerball kills, Powerball to it KOs, and this is not a switch because this is frail. O-Code, to it KO, I think. O-Code, to it KO'd, O-Code, O-Code, right? So his only switch-in, or like the only thing on his team that resists Powerball is Tapu Fini. And if he mocks or he builds, he'll realize that quickly he doesn't have a Cinderace switch-in on his team. So this Fini should be defensive in my opinion. It could be Scarf. He could try a cheeky Scarf. He could try setup. But if he's set up, he'll have to bring it in safely because he doesn't really want to take a Bandit Powerball. It still does like 35 or something. It's like Urshifu's Wicked Blow. It still does a lot. So if you want to be a setup set, you're a little it's a little tricky. And then even if it's combined, I can obviously come back with Cinder and Gunk Chalk, kill it. So has to be careful with that. But that being said, I think given the matchup, this should be defensive Fini with Nature's Draining Kiss, Surf, and maybe Calm Mind. He could still be Calm Mind in all honesty, but just because I have a Cinderace, I feel like his win con will not be Fini, so we can try to abuse that. Vikavolt can definitely come, like with webs. Although I can core change it, but he can try to bring it with Defog because he does have Prankster Defog on his team. He has no spin, so obviously if he stacks hazards and I core change, he has to Defog. He's forced to, which is good. But Wicked Volt could definitely come. Again, Volt Switch is pretty free versus my team. Bug Buzz hits almost everything. Volt Switch and Bug Buzz hits my entire team. Can check Rotom Fan. Can check LEAFEON. Can check Registeel, kind of. Although it is set up for Registeel, so can definitely help with Kyurem a little too. So Wicked Volt could come if he thinks he needs web support for Mega Medicham, which is obviously scary. But he may not bring it just because Torn has the speed advantage over my team anyway, plus Lycanroc's priority, which stops Kyurem and Cinderace, like DD, Kyurem, or Bulk Up Cinderace, so he may not bring it. Licky could come to check Kyurem. That's the only reason it would come. I don't see any other use for Licky here. Unless he tries to Body Slam Para and like play with the Feeney's terrain, Misty Terrain, but if Licky comes, it's there to check Kyurem. That's it. It'll be Wish Protect, Body Slam, Seismic Toss, like Dragon Tail Seismic Toss, or something like that knockoff maybe to get rid of Boots. Mega Medicham 100% coming. I don't have a switch on my team just because my Psychic type is my Mega and Fighting type as well, so I don't have a bulky Psychic on my team. So Mega Medicham is gonna go ham. Yeah, I don't have a switch in for it, period. Mega Medicham is just broken here. It will definitely come. That's why I think webs could potentially come to, make Mega Medicham even scarier, but yeah, Musharna, if it comes again, we'll come to check Gallade, and maybe Kyurem can obviously have Thunder Wave and stuff. Moonlight, Thunder Wave, could try to be Calm Mind setup, but I doubt it, because it'll probably want to move for Obstagoon. So it could come, could not come. Tang, don't really see it coming. It's abused by Cinderace, Kyurem, Weezing, Rotom Fan, Clef on my team, so I don't think Tang comes. Regice could come with Heavy Duty Boots, Restock, not Restock, but like some sort of set to check Kyurem. Could also help with Blastoise, maybe Shell Smash. But again, if he does bring a Kyurem switch in, it would probably be Licky or Wicked Volt or something. Regice, Tang just seem like a little too passive versus my team. So yeah, as for me, on my end, as I said, Bandit Cinderace is probably my best breaker in this matchup. He doesn't really have a switch into it. His one resist takes 75% from Bandit Powerball. The other one takes like 35. So yeah, he has a tough time switching into Cinderace. So if I can get this in as many times early as possible, and if I can get it into Blaze in on Feeney or something, or Mega Medicham, yeah, Powerball is gonna pick up a kill for sure. Like under Blaze with Bane, I'm pretty sure even Feeney gets to it KO'd. So that's the goal with Cinderace, to try and break. And if we can somehow get a Torn out of it, then we open the door for Gallade, Clef, and Kyurem. So that's really cool. Mega Gallade is pretty solid. He does have a couple of solid checks to it in Feeney and Musharna, and obviously Torn outspeeds. So setup Gallade isn't the strongest, but obviously it does force him to, we can definitely force damage on a lot of things that are annoying for our team with Gallade, which is really, really good. Clefable. Common Clefable is actually pretty solid in this matchup if he can set it, if he can position it right and get up like 2 combines. But the problem with that is it's really hard for Clefable to find opportunity to combine up twice. So, but yeah, Combine Clefable in theory is pretty solid here. So, Kyurem is also really solid. He doesn't really have Freeze Dry switching. But obviously, again, Kyurem gets revenge super easily this game. Torn is faster and does have Focus Blast. Mega Medicham is faster. Lycanroc Dusk has Excel Rock. Tapu Fini with Combine Draining Kiss can always threaten Kyurem. This Clef Key to T-Wave it, Licky can eat. So, but still, I would say Kyurem's good, and it's probably it's not the best in the offensive way because we can Dragon Dance obviously because we get picked off by Lycanroc Dusk. So yeah, like DD set is not good, so it has to be special. But like if a defensive Kyurem is actually pretty hard for him to break, so we can use that just because Kyurem forces switches. So we can use Kyurem that way with the subset to put pressure on his team. we talked about Cinderace. Cinderace is really good here. Obstagoon is also really solid, although he can block the Flame Orb with Tapu Fini by switching in on the right time. And then obviously Klefki, Wickervolt kinda help with taking it on, and yeah. But Obstagoon's really strong, but then the other set, again, Obstagoon has the same problem versus this team where, sure, it hits hard, but it'll get revenge pretty easily if it's the Gut set. And if it's the Scarf Reckless set, it doesn't actually hit that hard this game because Double Edge, he actually has a good Double Edge resist and things that don't die to Double Edge. So, yeah, tricky matchup for Obstagoon as well. Blastoise could have come to check Lycanroc Dusk. It, I think, barely avoids the Do-It KO from Dusk, but obviously a crit Stone Edge would change that. So I could have brought it for spin. Shell Smash was a fine option with Jet, just so we could out-prioritize Lycanroc Dusk's Excel Rock or Sucker Punch. But obviously we need to get rid of the Fini for that. And Wickervolt or something, we would need to get a lot of chip off on things before we could try and win with Blastoise. Rhyperior, also really solid. I thought with Choppleberry could be a pretty solid option to Lycanroc Dusk, maybe, as a switch-in. But it was the same problem where with Rhyperior, I had to predict what move I click into, because he does have a couple of, immunities to ground. Earthquake and Heat Crash probably hits everything except Torn, but yeah, Rhyperior's matchup was still, again, tricky. Obviously, Crook could come and switch in on it with the Intimidate and get up its Rocks, and Rocks would be harmful for me, just because he has a lot of knock on his team. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah, he has a lot of knockoff users, so obviously my boots are gonna get knocked off. So yeah, Weezing, obviously it could check Crook if it was Levitate, obviously. But other than that, it wouldn't do anything. So neutralizing Gas Weezing actually helps a little, because I can fire off a free Toxic, especially if he doesn't bring Klefki, because Fini can't switch in because he'll get Toxic right away. I can use this to block Torrent's regen if I need to. What else can I do with this? Obviously, Gas takes out Mega Medichamp's pure power, and so we are not O-code by Zen Headbutt. And we can actually, without Rocks, we can take 2 Zen Headbutts for sure. So we could use that to burn the Medicham or something, which is also cool. Rotom Fan, if it would come, it would only come to check Torn. But I thought it gave Lycanroc Dusk a free, especially if Torn was U-turn, it gave a free Lycanroc Dusk. And then we'd be in trouble because we don't have the best Lycanroc Dusk switch-ins on the team. Registeel, I thought could come to check Torn a little bit, and maybe with Chople could check Lycanroc Dusk. And also obviously Iron Defense could go in theory, because he doesn't have a Ghost type. So if I Iron Defensed up twice, maybe I had a shot, or 3 times. But thing is, I needed 3 Iron Defenses before I even started doing damage to Torn or Fini or Wickervolt. So yeah, and I don't think I would get 3 opportunities to Iron Defense up 3 times. So yeah, I didn't think Registeel was that good because of that, because Crook, Mega Medicham, Lycanroc Dusk all hit it super effectively. Leafeon is actually not bad this matchup. Obviously, let's in Torn and Wickervolt for free, but it does check Crook, Lycanroc Dusk, and Fini. It does have Baton Pass to pivot into and abuse the switch-ins to Torn and Wickervolt. But yeah, other than that, Leafeon obviously has Knock, so it's the only, along with Gallade and I guess Obstagoon, is the only other Knock user on my team, so that would help get rid of Boots and Scarfs. So yeah, Leafeon's matchup's okay for once. So yeah, that's the matchup analysis. Let's jump into the actual team I'm bringing. Starting off, we have Kyurem with Heavy Duty Boots, Pressure as the default ability. We're running enough HP and Special Defense with Special Defense boosting nature to live 2 Focus Blasts, to live a Focus Blast from Torn, even if it's Life Orb, I think. Yeah, so we live 2 Focus Blasts for sure, and because of Pressure, he only gets 4 Focus Blasts with us, and hitting 4 in a row is at that point, I can say it's hacked. Come on, no one's seen 4 Focus Blasts hit in a row. So yeah, I can roost all that Focus Blast with my Kyurem. This is also not 3-hit KO'd by Hurricane. I think Hurricane does like 32, so about 96 with 3. So obviously I can roost all Torn with this Kyurem. That's the point of this. If we can force the Torn to keep clicking Hurricane versus us and run out of PP, then like Gallade actually becomes a threat because Torn's the only thing faster than Gallade, barring the speed tower with Lycanroc. And if Torn can touch Mega Gallade, that's really awesome because then Gallade gets a kill. So, and then like maybe even 2 or 3 because he cannot revenge it, and it would come down to the speed tie. So yeah, and the speed on it is enough for anything trying to create max speed Clefable or Weezing. So we're hitting 242 speed, I believe. And the remaining in special attack. Special attack didn't really matter, but I just put it there anyway. So we're running Roost, obviously, for longevity. Freeze Strike, because Freeze Strike hits everything on his team except Regice and Klefki. Toxic for the switch into Kyurem, which like could be Licky, could be Musharna, could be Regice. So I just want to catch, if it's Musharna, I might not click Toxic just because Synchronize, and I don't want to take Toxic back. But everything else, I can re-Toxic, whatever his switch in is, and then start pressuring with Sub. Also, if we can get Toxic off and Torn, that's really, really good, and it punishes that switch in every time. So yeah, Subtoxic Kyurem. My nickname in a server is like Galactic Subtoxic because I use a lot of Subtoxic. But I really think Subtoxic is really, really good here. Yeah, and Kyurem behind the sub obviously can roost off pretty easily, so it takes away like those 50-50s, I guess. Next up, we have Weezing with the Rocky Helmet and Gas. This is our Mega Medicham switch-in. As funny as that sounds, because, you know, you'll be like, Darkrai, this is a Poison type. Mega Medicham is Psychic type. And, you know, that's super effective. Have you lost your mind? No, not really, because with Neutralizing Gas, I live 2, and because Weezing has pretty good physical bulk, I live 2 Zen Headbutts from Mega Medicham because it loses pure power, so it's only a base 100 Mon at this point. But if rocks are up, I'm pretty sure it's a roll in his favor to kill, or like I'm not sure if I even live. If he's adamant, I don't think I live. If he's jolly, then it's a roll, but heavily in his favor. But at least it forces 2 rounds of Rocky Helmet on Medicham, which is good for Kyurem, because Kyurem without any investment is not going to do anything to Medicham. So if you can get some chip on it, then at least that Kyurem, that Medicham switch in is taken out. Yeah, and obviously if there are no rocks up and we switch this in on like a high jump kick or a fake out, then obviously he's taking even more chip, which is like how much? He's gonna take 3. If he takes 3 rounds of 48%, and also he can Drain Punch heal on us anything as well because of the ability, and we can always try to damage it with Sludge Bomb. The other good thing about this is once I switch it in, I get a free Toxic off on whatever wants to come in. And if he goes Feeny, Feeny's gonna get Toxic because its Mystery Terrain will not activate. Yeah, only if he has Klefki, but everything else is gonna get Toxic real hard, which is really, really, really good. And yeah, that'll be good for our Kyurem, which wants to sub roost stall everything. So yeah, Flamethrower is for the Klefki and the Wickevolt, I guess. And Pain Split is for longevity, so because we don't have any recovery otherwise. Yeah, main switch into Mega Medicham. This will probably die super, super early. Can also maybe force the Crook to think about clicking Earthquake, just if I don't show Neutralizing Gas right away. So that's another cool thing to note. Next up, we have the Mega Gallade with max attack, max speed. Speed because of the Lycanroc Dusk. I won one of the mocks because I won a speed tie with Lycanroc Dusk, and I was pretty sure it might come down to this. So, yeah, max speed. I didn't want to risk it. I was not going to try and be cute with my speed EVs. I was like, nope. Lycanroc Dusk is a threat. We're going to be max speed just on the off chance he's not. But yeah, we're running Drain Punch Psycho Cut, which is stab, pretty straightforward. Hits his entire team except Musharna. And then I'm running Thunder Punch actually, which hits the Feeny plus Torn on the switch in. I thought about like triple axle, sword stance, knockoff, sneak, but I didn't really get an opportunity to click sword stance ever. I don't think Gallade gets that chance here. And I thought Thunder Punch just made the most sense to hit Torn plus Feeny. So I'm running that. And then sub is again to ease predictions. Get behind a sub and like click Drain Punch or Psycho Cut on whatever you want. Also helps with the Klefki initial switch-in, because then he can't para, so we can get a free Drain Punch off on Klefki, which is cool. Next up, we have Clefable with the Key Berry, which raises the defense on a physical move, if hit by a physical move. We're running max HP, max defense, so we can take Mega Medicham a little easier, because we want to set up on Mega Medicham. And then the rest is just like spread out. We're running Calm Mind, as I'd said in the matchup analysis, that Calm Mind really goes in. Draining Kiss, Thunderbolt, and Soft Boil. We are Magic Guard, so even if he Toxics us or burns us, we're not going to take any residual damage or from rocks. But I was initially Moonblast Flamethrower, but I thought Draining Kiss was better, so that if we kill Medicham, we don't drop to the Life Orb Iron Head right away from Lycanroc Dusk, because obviously we have the defense boost, so I wanted Draining Kiss just so I could get out of range from Mega Medicham. But yeah, Soft Boil for longevity. If we can get 2 Calm Minds up somehow in this game, I'm pretty sure Clef can win, as long as he's not what do you call it? As long as he's not Calm Mind feeding himself, in which case we might lose. But yeah, Thunderbolt just hits the Feeny harder, hits the Torn too, still hits Klefki. So I decided to keep it and just said, okay, I won't hit Vikavolt. I did have Flamethrower, but I was like, which also hit the Reggie Ice, but I was like, I'll just keep boosting on them if, you know, it comes to that. Because the best they can probably do to me is just like Thunder Wave or, you know, something like that. So yeah, that's the idea behind the Clef set. Definitely can be a win con. Obviously, after a Calm Mind, even Torn doesn't do anything to us, so that's cool. Next up, we have Cinderace with the Choice Band. This is the main breaker on the team. We have enough speed for Mega Medicham, so we're hitting 329. Didn't bother creeping Lycanroc Dusk just because it has Accelerock anyway, so there's no point. If I had Sucker Punch on the set, I might have cropped it so he couldn't Accelerock us, but that's a different story. U-Turn, because U-Turn is great for pivoting. Fireball, because he has no Fireball switch-in on his team, barring Feeny. And Gunk Shot hits the Feeny. It does about, with Band, I think it does like 80 or 90. Without Band, it still does like 65 or something. So that's good damage. And if you can keep Feeny around like 50% with like the help of Kyurem or like, you know, Toxic, then Cinderace can always pick it off even if it's set up. And then Core Change, just because if rocks or webs go up on our side, I have to switch them back, especially because Cinderace should force switches, especially versus the Mega Medi and stuff. So yeah, Core Change for that. I don't want webs and rocks on our side. Lastly, we have LEAFEON making its debut with Leftovers. We're running max HP, max defense. This is our Lycanroc switch-in on the team because we do not have one otherwise. Leaf Blade hits everything except the Torn and the Vikavolt and the Tang, but Synthesis, so we keep ourselves healthy. There's no sand on this or anything, so we don't have to worry about, you know, not healing full. Baton Pass, so that we can punish the Torn switch, and Torn should come in on this. Torn or Vikavolt should come in on this pretty safely, because the best I can do is just knock, and that doesn't really do much. So Baton Pass just lets me, if they go Torn, going to Kyurem, and if they go Vikavolt, going to Cinderace and get my kill. And lastly, Knockoff, because if I do Core Change rocks or anything, I can get rid of Boots, will be nice. But yeah, that's the team. Pretty solid. As for leads, last 4 or 5 games I've led Kyurem. So, and if he scouts my replays, because obviously I upload and he can watch those. Even though I love leading Kyurem, just because Kyurem is such a fantastic lead, it tells speed because of its ability and everything, and just hits hard, and you know, like Kyurem is amazing. So I thought he might not lead Torn because of that, because obviously I could lead Kyurem here again because of Torn. So I was like, he might lead Mega Medicham or Crook, or anything else he can lead versus Kyurem, maybe even Feeny. So I was like, if I can lead Cinderace and if he does lead Mega Medicham, that's actually pretty good for me because I get like, you know, momentum right away. So I decided to lead Cinderace, and then I actually checked Calcs and I left the Life Orb Hurricane from Torn. So even if he led Torn, I just stay in and Power Ball. If he doesn't click Knock, he's dead. If I hit, I mean, like grinding out, I hit. And if he clicks U-turn, something has to take the Power Ball, and he gives me information right away if the Feeny is Scarf or not, etc. So yeah, I thought my best lead was Cinderace. I was going to lead it no matter what I saw. So yeah, let's jump into the matchup. As you can see, our opponent brought a roster of Tornado Sea, Mega Medicham, Tapu Fini, Lycanroc Dusk, Crocodile, and Licky. As I said, the 5 months, Torn, Medi, Fini, Lycanroc, and Crook were definite coming, and it was just the last lock could be anything. So Licky makes sense as a Kyurem switch in, because if you look at his team, it doesn't have a freeze dry switch in, especially if I have specs. So a Spadef Licky makes sense to me here. But yeah, as for leads, he had a bunch of lead options. Could be Sash, Endeavor, Lycanroc lead. Unlikely, just because Life Orb Lycanroc destroys my team. Obviously, Mega Medicham is a pretty safe lead, especially if he has Fake Out. Torn's one of the best leads in the game. And Crook is a fantastic lead. Feeny as well. So I thought I lead Cinderace. Even if I have to switch versus the Crook and stuff, I don't really mind it too much. Because if I get it in on Mega Medi or Torn, I'm actually in a good spot. So yeah, I decided to lead Cinderace as he does lead Torn. Here, I live a Life Orb Hurricane. Specs didn't really seem like a good bring here just because I have Registeel and Rotom. So Life Orb Hurricane, I live for sure. And if it's Boots, Hurricane only does like 65 or 70 to me, which would put me in Blaze actually. So my play here 100% is to Powerball. His only resist is the Feeny, right? If he doesn't click Knock here, his Torn is gone. If he does click Knock, he'll live for sure. If he clicks Hurricane, he's gone and I live. And then I have Blaze boosted, Bandit boosted, Powerball for the rest of the game, plus a Mega Gallade that is not outsped by anything bar Scarfers. So his play is to click Knockoff if he has it, or U-turn or hard switch into... Well, he shouldn't hard switch because if I'm Scarf, I won't kill him. Yeah, so I click Powerball as he actually clicks Knock, which is a good play by him, fantastic play. I click Powerball and as you can see, that does 80% with my band gone. So yeah, that's awesome. Here I decided to click Gunk Shot. Actually, click Knock and yeah, Power. I decided to click Gunk here because I thought he was going to go into Feeny, and Gunk actually 2-hit KO'd Feeny. Also, like if he was Kibia Berry, it would pop right away. I don't really think it would go Crook or Lycanroc because they still took a lot of damage from Powerball. So I decided to click Gunk here. Gunk killed this, obviously. So I click Gunk, expecting the Feeny, but he actually goes Crocodile with the Intimidate, which is actually pretty good switching because he takes no damage. But he reads to be lefties and not a lower berry, so I was like, okay, that's cool. I can actually freely U-turn here because I know I'm faster. Click U-turn, do a good amount of damage and go into LEAFEON as he does click Rocks, which is what I expected. And as I said, Crook was going to get Rocks up this game 100%, and there was nothing I could do about it. Here I click Baton Pass, expecting the Torn, as he does go into Torn, and I go straight to Kyurem, revealing on Boot. But here I can fire off a Toxic. I didn't think he would go Feeny, because if I was max special attack, Freeze Dry would do a lot. And Freeze Dry does a lot of damage to everything else. So the only switch, like Licky is literally here for the Kyurem. So I click Hard Toxic, I catch the Licky, and now we can start the shenanigans. I click Sub, as he tries to Toxic us and fails, which is good. So I know he's Toxic, and then he's probably Wish Protect, so he is either like Seismic Toss, Body Slam, and I don't think Body Slam broke my Sub, or like Knockoff. Like this could be a super passive Licky and may not even be able to break our Sub. So we could, you know, and if he's Heal Bell, Wish Protect, then like he can't touch us, and he can't touch Gallade, so I can actually try to use this to go into Gallade and get a Sub up. So yeah, I click Sub, and then I just click Freeze Dry because at that point I didn't really want to roost when I'm at like, you know, a good amount of health, as he actually reused to be body press, which just about breaks our sub, which is a little unfortunate because if he was body slam, this would have put us in a really good spot, but he's in body press, which is good prep by him. Although if he's Wish Protect, he doesn't touch Gallade, so a little surprised by this. But I guess this was here just for the Kyurem, so I guess body press makes sense. If he was Seismic Toss, he actually didn't break sub either because of Kyurem's HP, we actually create 110 HP subs, and Seismic Toss only does 100. So we would be able to sub up, like, it would take 2 Seismic Tosses to break our sub. So we could always roost and then, we could always roost and then sub again. So yeah, here I decide to sub again in case he goes for Wish or he clicks Toxic, clicks Body Press again, which is like good play by him. Think I roosted here, thinking he would click Wish this turn, not Toxic, because Toxic didn't seem to get him anything. But he actually clicked Body Press, and as you can see, it does just above what sub damage, because sub's 25. But he's taken enough damage where I can pick it off with Freeze Rise, so Licky Licky is gone, and now he doesn't have a Kyurem switch in. But in comes the big threat, Mega Medicham. He didn't really have another switch here. He could go Lycanroc, but he would reveal his set. He could try going Feeny, but I would... yeah, he could try going Feeny as well and get Calm Mind, because he knows I'm a fat Kyurem and not offensive. But I do have like a full head of Leafeon, Glade, like in the back still, so I guess he thought it was a little early for Feeny. In comes Medicham, I go hard Wheezing, as I said, it was my check to this thing. Check, but you know, check in quotes. He clicked sub, so I was like, okay, I'm just gonna click Sludge Bomb. If he hadn't clicked sub, he clicked like a fighting move, then I would have clicked Toxic this next turn to try and catch the Feeny, or like maybe even a Crook, because you know, trying to think he could take a Sludge Bomb. So, but yeah, he clicks sub, so I click Sludge Bomb, which always breaks sub. As he clicks Zen Headbutt, so he actually is taking damage because of the sub, because sub plus helmet. We do get 2-hit KO because rocks are up, but that means the Medicham is 43%. I actually didn't calc how much Kyurem does to this, but obviously it cannot switch in hard into Kyurem because it was... actually, I'm not sure. But I go Cinderace now, and Boots do like... Yeah, like I'm not Boots, I take rocks damage, but here I decide to make a super aggressive play. I could obviously click Powerball and claim a kill, but I decided to make a super aggressive play and click Core Change because I don't want rocks up on my side, as he does go into Feeny. He goes hard into Feeny. Obviously, I don't know if this is leftovers or not, so I go Leafeon to Scout. Obviously, he could click Moonblast, or he could click Hydro, or if he clicks Calm Mind, then obviously Leafeon's Leaf Blade is pretty good, because Leaf Blade also has a chance to crit, and this hits on the physical side. He clicks Hydro and misses, which is, I guess, kind of big, because it still would have done some damage to this, because Leafeon's Spadef is bad. But with lefties, I might have been able to heal it off anyway. Here, I decided to click Knock. If he was like Scarf, Hydro Pump wouldn't do a lot, and he would have to fear the Leaf Blade. And otherwise, nothing else on his team really wanted to switch into Leaf Blade other than Torn. So I knew the Torn was coming in. I click Knock, do a good amount of damage, but the boots are gone. So now every time this switches in, it's going to take Rock's Chip, because we got rocks up on that side. Because he clicked Knock, I was pretty sure he was not Nasty Focus Blast. So I went into Kyurem, or just because of the way he was playing it, and it was like bulky. I go hard Kyurem because I live 2 Hurricanes at this point. And he clicks Hurricane, and as you can see, it does 32%. And I can actually roost off as he goes into Feeny, which is actually pretty good, because Misty Terrain runs out this turn, so I can get the Toxic off on this if it's Calm Mind. And then go into like Leafeon or Cinderace and click Gunk. So this will get chipped down enough where Glade can always pick it off, or Cinderace, because if I get the Toxic off. So as you can see, Misty Train runs out, and I click Toxic and I miss. As he clicks Moonblast and does no damage, like, it's a 3-hit KO, but like barely. The Toxic miss is huge though, because if I click Toxic here, I get a free sub the next turn, right? Because if the Toxic is off, even if he clicks Moonblast, I'm faster, obviously, so my speed creep work. and if I'm faster, so even if he clicks, he is the one taking toxic damage, and it'll rack up, and I'll get the roost off next turn anyway. Um, or like I could even have the sub option, right? So he would be the one forced to make an aggro play if he wanted to, while I could make a safer play without too much risk, like without even risking any like aggressive play from him. But because I missed the toxic now, I yeah, I'm in a worse spot. I either decide to click toxic or I decide to click roost. Um, I knew sub was never the play because he could obviously stay in and uh, click Moonblast, and then I just took the sub damage for no reason. It's not like I can PP stall Moonblast, right? So I knew he was either going to switch, try to use this to get a free switch into Mega Medicham, or or he could try maybe sacking Crook and then trying to go Medicham. But I thought my play was still to get a Toxic off, because I know Mr. Terrain cannot go up, so I can get a Toxic off, especially if he goes Medicham. So I click Toxic as he does go Cure him, as he does go Medicham. So I get that on the aggressive play, and he cannot sub here, which is the best part about this play, that if he subs, he dies. So I stop the sub for sure. And instead, if I click Roost and he clicks sub, if I click Roost and he made this play, then I was forced to switch because Kiran was still needed for the Torn, and he had the play to make us play to click sub, but now he can't do that anymore, which is pretty good. So the music stopped, so let me play that again. But yeah, here I decided to sack off Cinderace, thinking Cinderace wasn't useful anymore because, yeah, I didn't think Cinderace was useful anymore, and I thought Glade was still useful. Maybe I should have done it the other way around and kept Cinderace, but I thought Glade with the speed tier, because he couldn't Excel Rock my Glade, right? So I thought that was better to have than Cinderace, which would get Excel Rocked for sure. So I decided to sack off Cinderace here as I click Zen Headbutt. And here I'm pretty sure I went Glade, yep, to go and collect my kill. I believe I clicked Thunder Punch on the switch hit, which hit the Feeding and the Torn. He could have gone Crook, but obviously I could have Intimidate doesn't work on Inner Focus anymore, so I could have just Drain Punch the next turn. Obviously you could have tried cycling by going Crook into Torn to cover that play, but yeah, he makes the more safer play, I guess, and goes into Feeny. Obviously I could have clicked CC too, I guess there. CC was kind of free. Or Triple Axle maybe, so Crook wouldn't have helped in that case. But yeah, he goes Feeny as I click Thunder Punch. And here you can also see why the Toxic Mist mattered, because this would be 6% lower because of the Toxics at 45. And we did 43, so it'd be at a roll to kill, right? Yeah, I believe it was a roll. I'm not sure how much or in whose favor. But I guess we can check that real quick because I still have my team up. Tapu Fini. My Thunder Punch did way more, so let's make it max HP. Yeah, if it was just max HP, obviously it would be a roll at 45%. In my favor, I guess, if it was max HP, because the first one did 43. But yeah, I don't know if that would have, if he lived, then obviously the Toxic Mist didn't, well, it still mattered because it took out a play from my Cure. But yeah, anyway, I clicked Thunder Punch again because I know I live on Moonblast because this is defensive Feeny. He could have Draining Kiss, but I don't think it would have given him enough to get out of Thunder Punch range. But as you can see, he lives on 7%, so with Toxic that'd be 1%. Obviously it could have been rounded up too, so we don't know that, but yeah, he clicks Moonblast as we live. And here I think I click Psycho Cut. Yeah. I'm not sure why I click Psycho Cut, but I just click Psycho Cut. That's gone. In comes Torn. I decided to just sack off Glade because I can't go into Cure him because I died to 2 Hurricanes. So I go Cure him. Here now, he said this was a 50-50. In my head, it wasn't really a 50-50 to me. Actually, yeah, I think my play was 100% to always freeze dry. Because obviously, Torn's not killing me in one hit. If he switches, I think nothing on his team wants to take the freeze dry. Crook will die. Mega Medicham will die. He has more sacks at me at this point, so he should have. I thought his play was to just sack Crook And roosting didn't really help me anywhere because if he EQ'd, he could probably do about 30-40% anyway. So I'd be back to a similar amount of health where Mega Medicham would have KO'd me anyway. So my freeze try was just because in case he went hard Mega Medicham to preserve a sack. So I clicked freeze try and he clicks taunt, which I think was a big misplay by him because yeah, he should have just if you want to sack something, you should have sacked Crook, not Torn. But I clicked freeze try, so I get the play right. My play was 100% to click freeze try. Yeah, in comes the Mega Medicham. Here I decide to sack off Kyurem. Torn's gone, so I don't need Kyurem for anything else. Because LEAFEON actually beats these two mons left. So I go into Clef here, and mostly because LEAFEON with Leaf Blade beats those two for sure. Yeah. And here, I kind of wish I had teleport, because if I had teleport, I would have clicked teleport right into LEAFEON and won the game for sure. But here, first I was like, do I click Draining Case? And then realized that he will proc my Keyberry anyway, so I should click Soft Boil, so I go back to full, and I'll be +1 defense, which really helps versus both the mons because they're physical. So, yeah, almost choked by clicking Draining Case, and then Lycan Rock or Crook could have come in, and if they were offensive, taken out my Clef. But yeah, as you can see, click Zen Headbutt. Luckily, it doesn't flinches, and we click Soft Boil and go back to full because the Toxic takes out the Medicham. In comes Lycan Rock Dusk. This is, yeah, he's not Boots, so this is probably Life Orb for sure. I just don't know if he's SD or not, and he says GG, which, like, I could have definitely, I don't like that early GGs just because the game was still open, because if he has Iron Head, he could definitely flinch, he could still crit. He could crit twice, I guess, and then Crook could crit Knock as well. That way my LEAFEON would lose, but yeah, or like he could have Fire Fang and he burn flinches me or something. So, but yeah, he said GG because he thought I was Moonblast, but I was actually Draining Kiss. So I clicked Draining Kiss thinking it was my best move, as he actually clicked Swords Stance, and I was like, wait, this is a problem. And I crit here. Luckily, I get, actually, I'm not sure because, how much did, he was at 88, 42, so 28, 3 times 84. So if I got 28 rolls, or like if 28 was a high-ish roll, then I would have lost the game because he could have SD, like, you know, he can SD another time. If I was Moonblast, this game was over for sure. But I click Draining Kiss, I get a crit, which is good because now, although he can SD up again, which is what he does, is I Draining Kiss and I do 30. So it's like, okay, it was like a roll to kill, 3 KO this. But yeah, basically I'm hoping he doesn't crit me here. Especially if he's Life Orb, because then he'll get a hit off on my LEAFEON. And then it'll become a 50-50 on my LEAFEON, because if I click Synthesis as he attacks, then I probably win if I live. But if he clicks SD as I click Synthesis, then it's a problem, because if that kills, I might lose for sure. So yeah, so basically I have to hope he doesn't kill me here, or like doesn't crit. As he clicks Psychic Fangs, as you can see, that does a lot of damage, but luckily it doesn't kill us. So the Lycan Rock's gone, and now I'm pretty sure we should win the game because LEAFEON should live any hit from this from full for sure. He clicks Earthquake, we click Draining Kiss. Maybe I could have clicked Soft Boil, but it didn't matter. Yeah, Earthquake picks us off, but we can go into LEAFEON, and nothing he should have should kill us unless he flinches us like 10 times with Fire Fang. But yeah, he clicks Knockoff, we click Leaf Blade and pick up the win. So yeah, nice 1-0 win to win the semis and move on to the finals. Good game to my opponent. He played really well. Pretty solid prep. Torn was fantastic. Good set. Mega Medicham with sub made sense. Licky to check the Kyurem made sense. Crook for rocks. Lycan Rock, Dusk. Yeah, his prep was solid. I would say he definitely, I think his only misplay was sacking Torn, when what he should have done was he should have sacked Crook, because Crook was not doing anything, like rocks were not needed anymore. Should have sacked Crook, gone into Medi, because it was 4 versus 3 basically, right? And basically what that forced me to do was sack something, like then I needed Kyurem for the Torn, or I had to play in a way where I had to get a Calm-Mind up with the Clef so that I could beat the Torn as well as beat the rest of his mods. So it would have been really tricky, but that's how I would have to win this game. Um, yeah, but if Cleft did get rid of the Torn, then I'm pretty sure LEAFEON would beat the remaining two. So it would again come down to that. But yeah, this is a nice game. I think we played it pretty well. Not sure if I made any misplays. I think I played fine. For the finals, it's the other semifinal game is Bronson, who gave us a forfeit win. Like he forfeited versus us week 4, and Ultra Player, who we haven't played this season, but like they've both done pretty well. So we'll play the winner of that, and this match will go up next week. So yeah, if he obviously I'm going to try and win, because if I win, I get an invite, and then I can get one of my friends into the Hive, which is what I'm aiming for. So yeah, this is also like one of our last leagues. So if you get a chip in that, it'll be pretty cool. So yeah, hopefully you guys enjoyed. Hopefully you liked the matchup, the team builder, the team, and the plays. Like I think this was like a pretty good quality game overall. So yeah, GG's to my opponent. That again, well played, great season by them. So them nothing to be like ashamed of. You should be really proud of their run. So yeah, until then, I'll see you guys next time. Bye.